Okay, so my speech is going to be over the history of motorcycles. Think of motorcycles. Usually Harley Davidson comes to mind, especially with the creation of motorcycles. I'm always hearing people saying, Harley's been around, since the very, first motorcycle. They invented the first motorcycle. Um, that is not the case. So, some interesting facts that you might not know. Motorcycles were, or the ideas and designs, there were tons of inventors in Europe in the early 19th century. Um, very many designs didn't go through. When they first started out, there was actually several that were three-wheel applications instead of two-wheel. Um, the first motorcycle that American design was a steam-powered motorcycle. It was a two-cylinder steam-powered motorcycle. It was invented to basically, rival the designs that had gone in Europe based off those designs. And it was invented per Thought.com by Sylvester Howard Roper. He was actually killed on this motorcycle 30 years prior to its creation, which is pretty unfortunate. Creates the thing, and then 30 years later he dies on it. I guess he had his fun, but he did set a precipice for the future of motorcycles on two wheels. Lately after that, he was actually killed in 1896. Before that, there was another three-wheeled bike. It was made in 1877 by Motorcycle. There was actually another gas motorcycle created by a German engineer by the name of Gottlieb Daimler. He was an inventor. He dabbled with motorcycles and cars and a lot of gas motors, and anything had to do with automotive he had his hands in. He actually had a partner named Wilhelm Maybach who helped him out with that design and developed a gas motorcycle in 1885. Daimler also experimented with gas motors for boats and actually also became a pioneer in car manufacturing. Daimler is also known as Daimler-Benz, which we know that name by today's manufacturer, a leading manufacturer in automobiles, Mercedes-Benz. And he actually had his hands into motorcycles and boats even before that he began working with vehicles and stuff like that, and ended up, hitting the jackpot, really. Mercedes-Benz is a multi-million-dollar company now. Excuse me. So, per TotalMotorcycle.com, there are hundreds of designs each year for motorcycles that don't make it. I've seen a lot of the prototypes come out. You think, man, that's going to be a cool bike. Or there's one out right now that's the rims. There's like no tires. It's like, or not no tires, but there's no spokes or You know how a rim will have either 3 stars or 5 stars. It's just like a circle connected with a tire underneath this little fender deal. It's wild looking. But you know, some of these won't make it to the street. Um, but there was actually a KTM RC8 that I had seen years ago, and it is it's an 800cc sport bike. I believe they sell them in 1000cc's as well, or 1100cc's. But it's a sport bike made by KTM, and it has a very futuristic looking design. I absolutely love it. It's the KTM RC8. There's several models. Generally, they're orange and black and white or gray. But anyway, this was a prototype that was being researched and publicly displayed. That some people didn't know if it was going to make it out on the street or not, but it is actually now out on the street and it is awesome. But so those are some interesting facts. I think it was very interesting that Daimler Gottlieb Gottlieb Daimler actually became a famous, owner of a car manufacturer, Mercedes-Benz, and he started his works by doing motorcycles. It all started with motorcycles, and that's where it begins for me. I love doing stuff with motorcycles, working on them, fixing them, selling them, flipping them. That's what I do in my off time, uh, and I enjoy it. So I hope you learned a little bit of something about the history of motorcycles that you didn't know before. Something maybe opened your eyes. I know it did for me. And thank you, and have a great day.